Motion unanimous.
What does this censure mean to you that they voted on?
It doesn't mean a thing.
A war of words by Savannah City leaders tonight. We have the censure of Alderman Tony Thomas and his reaction to this rare move by City Council next.
Live, on air, and online. This is WSAV News 3 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tina Tyus-Shaw.
And I'm Ben Singer. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our top story, high drama at the special meeting of the Savannah City Council that ended with a public reprimand of Alderman Tony Thomas. Mayor Eddie DeLoach called the meeting to vote on censuring Thomas after he made derogatory remarks to a reporter over the weekend who was questioning Thomas about the reported foreclosure of his home.
Mr. Thomas, nobody's buying what you're selling. Look around you. Your actions were despicable.
What he said that day to that reporter was wrong. Absolutely, unequivocally, it was wrong. Dead wrong.
We're talking about a set of standards that people can identify with and people can look up to. This is not, hey, I'm sorry, it's over, and then get over it. You don't get over it like that.
Councilors removed 2 items from the censure resolution before they voted tonight. One involved Thomas's refusal to apologize to the reporter because he made that apology during the meeting. You'll hear it shortly. The other talked about his actions on St. Patrick's Day when he drank too much and passed out in public.
The meeting tonight was very heated as Alderman Thomas attempted to defend himself. He blasted other city leaders for what he says are their shortcomings.
News 3's Devin DeGretti is joining us now with the most significant confrontations tonight. Devin?
Mayor Eddie DeLoach began with his original statement he made yesterday. A motion was on the floor and the discussion was open. Alderman Tony Thomas did issue his apology to the reporter, but that's not where it ended.
To the young lady, I do apologize.
The apology about the vulgar language Thomas used towards a reporter was made before his colleagues voted to censure him. But Thomas didn't stop there. He made jabs at fellow council members. First, he talked about St. Patrick's Day when he was caught on camera, passed out.
Drinking with me after that parade were 2 of the members that are sitting up here on this council, Julian Miller and Brian Foster.
I was never in the Hilton. That is totally fabricated.
The fact that I had a drink with you, you don't even know how you got into the Hilton that day. I took you to the Hilton to get you off the street because I was embarrassed to be seen out there with you.
He then brought up an alleged scandal about Alderwoman Carol Bell involving controversy over a scholarship at Shaw University.
Someone called your house, a reporter, for a reply, and you hung up on them, or a female hung up on them.
He then took a swing at the mayor.
You are on tape saying that you are not going to follow the city charter. You've already demonstrated that with these meetings, a lack of true transparency.
Thomas even accused the mayor of conspiring against him because of the incident with animal control and the reporter over the weekend.
If you knew about this on Saturday, I want to know who you were informed by.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
No, that's not the issue here.
It shows that you're being conspiratorial.
Okay. All right.
Thomas spoke about what he thought of the meeting and said,
It doesn't mean a thing.
Do you think your constituents will support you after this, after all the drama, and after the said patterns that you have?
Yeah, my set patterns, you know, I like it that some of you consider yourselves to be psychology majors that have that can make determinations like that. I think you need to really go and find a professional that can come in and analyze something like that and say, here is the real pattern and stuff.
I was quoting what the mayor said.
This is an obvious pattern of behavior that he will go forward, be completely rude and obnoxious.
The mayor's a landscaper. The mayor cuts grass for a living. I mean, I don't think he has any kind of ability to discuss what a set pattern is unless he's talking about lawn care.
We've covered Tony Thomas's controversial behavior extensively. To see our previous reports, just visit WSAV.com and search Tony Thomas. I'm Devin DeGretti reporting WSAV News 3.
All right, Devin, thank you. Now that Tony Thomas has been censured, many are asking, what does censure really mean and how does it differ from other forms of political punishment? Well, censure is a form of public shaming in which the politician must face his peers to listen to the censure resolution as it is read against him for all to hear. And that is what Thomas endured today. It is debatable and adopted by a majority vote only. That said, censure does not mean that Thomas loses his title as an alderman or power to vote.
New tonight, a big change in management at the Bluffton Police Department. News 3 has learned that longtime Chief Joey Reynolds is stepping down. Reynolds announced his retirement today. It wraps up a 40-year career in law enforcement. He served as police chief in North Carolina before coming to Bluffton. Reynolds says he plans to pursue opportunities in the private sector. His last day is set for June 30th.
This last month marked 70 years since the formation of Georgia's first African-American police unit. We take a look back now at the original 9 in tonight's special report. The unit was planned by community leaders like Reverend Ralph Mark Gilbert. For $190 a month, the 9 men patrolled East and West Broad Streets. Since his retirement, former Lieutenant John White recalls the challenges and the accomplishments being one of the original 9. The unit paved the way for civil rights and accountability in police departments.
Well, we went on to change the course of history. And all of us had an idea that we were doing something for our community.
Savannah had black police officers before Atlanta. This is, and this is groundbreaking.
White's police jacket was presented to the former officer during Black History Month. He has donated it to the Ralph Mark Gilbert Civil Rights Museum in downtown Savannah, and that museum will actually include it in exhibits after expansion.
South Carolina has a new law to make it easier for you and the media to get information from local and state government. Governor Henry McMaster held a ceremonial bill signing for the law, which expands the Freedom of Information Act. It requires agencies to respond faster, and they can't charge excessive fees. One city tried to charge $10,000 for records a resident requested.
The best disinfectant is sunlight. Just put it out in the open and let everybody understand what happened and why it happened.
The governor also says the law does not go far enough. He also wants a special court set up to deal with the Freedom of Information disputes quickly and inexpensively.
Well, thanks to you, another Fugitive Files person is behind bars. Malcolm Banner was arrested by Savannah State Police for allegedly stealing books worth thousands from the school store. He now faces theft by taking charges. Banner is the 212th suspect arrested after being profiled on Fugitive Files.
In a health report tonight, one Florida family wants to raise awareness about a rare disease their daughter was born with. The genetic disorder is considered to be a childhood form of Alzheimer's. Jason Hackett has their story.
She's always loved music. Some music more than others. It's funny.
For Saverio Carbone and Bridget Ludden,
Oh, look at you!
these small moments
She lights up the room. Everybody there is like, oh, Stella's here.
are becoming few and far between.
It is torture in the worst way.
Yeah.
It gives you happiness, but it kills you at the same time. Because there's nothing that we can do.
Their daughter, 2.5-year-old Stella Carbone, was born premature.
She was born at 33 weeks, but she stopped growing at 28 weeks.
We've had, developmental problems, weight, enlarged spleen.
Her parents had no idea what was causing these problems. Then in November, a diagnosis.
It's very rare. It's Niemann-Pick type C. It's a genetic disease.
It's commonly known as childhood Alzheimer's, as it causes progressive neurological and physical decline. It affects 1 in 150,000. Her parents say things took a turn shortly after the diagnosis.
She got pneumonia and we lost words, her crawling.
She can barely sit on her own. She can't sit on her own.
She doesn't eat with her mouth or drink.
Her disease is very progressive. Like, she was nothing like this even, 2 months ago.
Feeling they're on borrowed time, Stella's parents turned to medical professionals across the country. Their research led them to an experimental, non-FDA approved drug, cyclodextrin, that could extend Stella's life. However,
We are having a really hard time finding a hospital in Florida to do this for us.
part of the reason is Stella's age and the cost of treatment. But the biggest obstacle, Saverio and Bridget told me, is even though they are willing to take the risk, they're waiting on hospitals to decide.
It takes them months to even come back with a decision, and she doesn't really have that much time.
Right now, we just feel powerless.
As they wait for news, it's the small moments that help them cope. A smile, a song.
Just enjoy what you can, even the bad times.
As they hope for just a few moments more.
Even if she's not meant to be here for long, but at least she was here.
It was Jason Hackett reporting. There are only 500 cases of the condition worldwide.
60 years of educating the children of military families coming to an end. After the break, a well-known Lowcountry school closes its doors.
And coming up in the Complete Storm Team 3 forecast, we saw a lot of activity today, showers and thunderstorms. And over the next 5 days, the chances, they will continue. We're tracking that and much more coming up after the break. You're watching WSAV News 3 at 10 on WSAV CW.